So the new set is just now fully getting revealed in Japan tonight. I guess this morning for Japan. It's 9:00 p.m. here where I am, but morning time in Japan. And they are getting all the new cards revealed. And we're going to go through and react to all the interesting new stuff that we are seeing for the first time. Now, obviously, there's stuff in these sets like the Urshifu and Urshifu VMAXs that we've already seen. A lot of the single strike and rapid strike stuff we've already seen. But a lot of this is new and it should be in our Battle Styles set. So, shoutouts to Tuan Lei. I believe I'm saying that correctly. I hope I am. I'm very sorry if I'm not. But shoutouts to Tuan Lei for all these translations, and we're gonna go ahead and just hop into it real quick. Not too many cards to talk about, but some interesting stuff. We're not gonna talk about all the new cards revealed, just all the ones that Tuan translated that were interesting to them. So we've got a Flapple V and a Flapple V Max, which, first off, Flapple V. Flapple may be one of the silliest, dumbest looking new Pokemon to come out recently. I mean, come on. This thing, what the heck is happening? Sour Spit, 20 damage for a grass. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attacks cost 2 colorless energy more. Okay, so that's kind of a cool attack. Kind of a cool effect. And, you know, the unfortunate thing is that effects like this reset when something goes to the bench. And so you can just play a switch, and then that effect goes away. Most decks play 4 switch right now, so it's probably not going to be the best. But it is a very unique attack, and maybe if we get to a point in the meta where people aren't playing a lot of switch in their deck, maybe that could see play then. I could maybe see it. And then we've got the Flapple VMAX. Now, anytime you see an attack and it has this little symbol next to it, this little minus, it's probably going to be not a good card, not a competitively viable card. Now, obviously, things can be different. If there's ways to consistently heal things in a format, then that, you know, could be okay. But I'm going to go ahead and say this thing is probably not going to be great. As we see Grass, colorless, G Max rolling, 250 minus. This attack does 10 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So, being able to do 250 for 3 energy is pretty good. That's kind of a lot of damage. But then you see that little minus next to it. Yeah. You know, stage 1. And also considering in a format with like Eternatus VMAX, which for 2 energy does 270. It's probably not great. Then we see Level Ball. This is one I'm actually so excited about, though. Big fan of Level Ball. Use it in a lot of expanded decks these days. Whenever I'm trying to play some rogue decks, unique decks, Level Ball is always a fun card. And this is the type of card, being in the format, can really give a boost to one prize decks, to single prize decks. So I'm a fan of this. I feel like it could replace Great Ball in certain archetypes. Obviously not things like Eternatus, but, you know, maybe, like someone just said in chat, the Frostmoth, something like that could be good. You could get your Snom and your Frostmoth with Level Ball. So I'm a big fan of this card. I'm a big fan. And for anyone who doesn't know, Level Ball, search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So this is a card that has been legal and been played a lot in the past. It was legal in Black and White. It was legal in XY. It skipped out on us in the Sun and Moon era, but we get it back here in Sword and Shield. And yeah, it should be... Yeah, it's a card that it's like a good card for it to exist. I'm happy with Level Ball being reprinted, personally. All right, we've got a Stoutland V. Take a look at the guy here. Big doggo right here. Fan of the artwork. Stoutland's kind of a cool Pokemon. 210 HP, 3 retreat, weak to fighting. And then Extra Fang, 40 damage for 3 colorless. If your opponent's basic Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, take 1 more prize card. And then Wild Tackle for 4 colorless, 230 damage to itself. So this first attack is interesting, but the fact that it says basic Pokemon kind of makes it hard to use. My initial thought with this thing would have been like, someone in the chat earlier said something about ADPZ playing this card, But usually with ADPZ, most basic Pokemon that you are up against, you're gonna be one-shotting them. The place where this could have been useful for ADPZ was gonna be like up against a VMAX. It doesn't work on VMAXs. It says basic Pokemon. If it was like any Pokemon, I could see this being played in that deck specifically. Other than that, probably just not gonna be good because it involves you 2-hit KOing stuff, which, depending on the format, could be okay, but in this format right now, it's really revolved around taking big one-hit knockouts on basic Pokemon, unless you are hitting into a VMAX, and this doesn't work against VMAX, right? All right, so then we've got Necrozma V. This one's really cool. All right, Prism Ray. Let's take a look at the card art first. So it's a Psychic type, basic, 3 retreat, weak to dark, and it is resistant to fighting, which is good. So, like, a Psychic type, a solid Psychic type in a set where the main flagship Pokemon is a fighting type. That's pretty good. Could be good. So we got Prism Ray, 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it does 20 damage to 3 things total, the active and then 2 bench. So some little spread. That could be good. A very good attack against something like Mad Party, potentially. And then, Special Laser, 100 plus. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached to it, this attack does 120 more damage. So 220 damage for 3 energy is pretty good. And then you combine it with a solid spread attack. You can pick up those KOs on certain things. But I think that this, in order for it to be good, needs a good energy accelerant. So, you know, obviously when I think of Psychic Energy Acceleration, I'm thinking of Malamar, right? But there's no more Malamar in the format. You know, maybe something like Trumbeak. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, Slapjack says bad Zacian, which it probably just is, right? Like, it's a cool card, and I could definitely see this seeing play, but I think it needs a little bit more, and it needs to be the right meta, right? Obviously, being weak to dark is not great for it. So, but I love that you can utilize Capture Energy with it. It's Psychic, colorless. Capture Energy is one of my favorite cards in the format. You can use Weakness Guard Energy and Recycle Energy. So there's some options there. Some niche spread things with the scope. Yeah, that's a good point. Telescopic Sight. You could do 50 damage to 2 benched Vs or GXs, right? That's kind of cool. All right, next we've got a Corbinite V and a Corbinite V Max. This card looks sweet, by the way. Corbinite V, Gigantamax, like in the video games. Man, such a cool looking Pokemon and such a cool looking card here. Really a big fan of this one. I hope we get like a cool shiny of this, like in, I guess it's not in Shining Fates, but if we get another shiny Vault set in a couple years that this would be in, I bet that card would look sweet. Okay, so Corbinite V for a metal. Clutch, 30. The defending Pokemon can't retreat during your opponent's next turn. And then Sky Hurricane, metal, colorless. This Pokemon can't use Sky Hurricane during your next turn. So, obviously the second attack, not the best. But not terrible. 190 for 3 is not too bad. It's obviously less than Zacian V, but Clutch is a pretty solid attack situationally, especially for an evolving Pokemon like this. So, you know, if you go second, your opponent starts something that can't attack, you could just go Clutch for a turn. So, not the worst attack. Obviously, a lot of decks are playing Switch and stuff like that in the format, so that's something you have to consider, but I think this is way better than most, like, pre-evolving Vs could potentially be, right? Like, it is potentially useful. And then we got the Corbinite V Max, 320 HP, metal type, and it has free retreat. I think that's something worth noting. Free retreat is pretty sweet. Anytime a card has free retreat, it's just made like that much better. And let's look at the attacks here. First off, the ability, Luster Armor. Prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities done to this Pokemon. So that's kind of cool against like Eternatus. Slowbro V can't poison you. Zigzagoon can't drop damage pings on you. How does Big Metal Turkey have free retreat? That's a great question, but it's a flying type, so maybe that's how. They just wanted to make it as good as possible. And then we got G-Max Hurricane. 240. This Pokemon can't use G-Max Hurricane during your next turn. So, not bad, but honestly, why would you ever play this over just playing Zacian V? The only benefit is that it has a lot more HP. But Zacian V does 230 for 3 energy. And then it's going to have the Rusted Sword tool very soon that makes it do 50 more damage. So, I mean, yeah, it's got free retreat. There's some pluses to this. But I just feel like this card is good, but it's outclassed, I would say right now. Now, I could see this card being good in the future. So, like, 2 formats from now, whenever Sword and Shield base set has rotated out and this set is still legal, I could see this card being potentially good then. But if Sword and Shield rotates out, that means that Metal Saucer has rotated out, so 30 more with the Rusted Sword. Oh, okay. I thought it was plus 50 for some reason. I think I might be thinking of the Zamazenta tool that's minus 50 maybe. Yeah, there is an Escape Rope reprint, which is pretty hype. I agree with you there, for sure. All right, we'll keep it moving here. We've got Scorch with the ability Overheater. Whenever your opponent flips a coin for the special condition Burn between turns, that special condition isn't removed, even if the result is heads. So this could be okay in certain formats and certain situations. You know, the main Pokemon I think about in the meta right now that burns would be Cinderace VMAX. So it could be nice to guarantee something stays burn situationally, but you're committing a stage 1 evolution slot to this ability, and it's probably just not going to be worth it. Now, if this ability was on a basic, it would be pretty solid, and it would see play in some decks. It wouldn't even be like broken or anything like that. But the fact that it's on a stage 1, I think makes this very difficult for this card to ever really see play. It's a cool card, yeah, but not the best, I don't think. And we've got a Kingdra, a fan favorite Pokemon, 150 HP, 1 retreat, and Lightning Weak. The ability is Deep Sea King, which I think is kind of funny. Deep Sea King, like seeking the pre-evolution. Whenever your active Pokemon gets KO'd by damage from an opponent's attack, you may move any number of water energy from the KO'd Pokemon to this Pokemon. Okay, so it's like a built-in EXP share. Pretty cool. And then Aqua Burst, 40x. This attack does 40 damage for each water energy on this Pokemon. So it seems like a solid card. I think the problem is that it is a stage 2. It would be maybe decent. It would probably be really good if it was like a stage 1 Pokemon, but just putting something like this on a stage 2 makes it not good. And 40x multiplier. Yeah, if it was like a bigger multiplier, maybe. You need like a reason to Kingdra evolves from Seaking. Oh. Oops, never mind. I know what I'm talking about. Kingdra evolves from Seadra, not Seaking. Oops. Ignore me, guys. Deep Seaking. So it's just talking about its water type buddy, Seaking, guys. Come on. Water type buddy. It's fine. But we have Rare Candy. Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on. You guys know. It's just, it ain't it. Rare Candy, it's hard for Rare Candy to have success in this day and age. All right, we've got Jellicent. Whoa, what the heck is going on here? Yo, look at this artwork. Just Jellicent's flying out of the water. The fisherman freaked out. Is this the same artist? Hang on, this looks just like this card. It is the same artist. The same artist. Look at this guy. First, we got the person who has had his soul stolen by a Shedinja. Right here, and then we've got this guy. This guy just has bad luck with ghost Pokemon, I guess. But here we go. It is called Backwater Sink. 10x. This attack does 10 damage for each water energy in your discard pile. So, kind of cool, I guess. 10x is a bad multiplier, though. If it was 20x, it would probably still not be that good, to be honest. It would maybe be better. If it was 20x, Finisher and Lapras, I mean, probably not. You're committing a 1. If it was a basic, then sure. You gotta just consider all these things. Like, when it's on a stage 1, it just makes it that much harder for it to be played in a deck. The fact that it's 10x makes me think that this card is just terrible and will never be played. Alright, we got Lux Ray. It's a Rapid Strike Pokemon. Okay. And then we've got Electro Step. This attack does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Then switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. Okay. Scar's Beating. If your opponent's active Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 100 more damage. So, 200 damage for 1 energy. Or 2 energy, theoretically. Not too bad, but it's a stage 2. So we always have to throw that out there. It does have the Rapid Strike like tag on it, so it can utilize the Rapid Strike supporters, the Rapid Strike trainers, the cards, stuff like that. And it doesn't seem that bad. And the fact that you can switch it to the bench, like you can throw up a Pokédoll. Also with Galarian Zigzagoon in the format, that's a good way to activate Scar's Beating as well. I think this maybe has potential. I would say this has potential. It is a stage 2. So I think it has about as much potential as a stage 2 could have in this format. But I mean, it's solid. It's energy efficient. You've got options as far as like spread damage versus, you know, just big damage. And you've got other support with Rapid Strike stuff. So I don't know 100% what all the Rapid Strike cards do. So you got to consider that, I guess. I know a deck I'm making day 1. I'm not surprised, Slap. Isn't Luxray like one of your favorite Pokemon? Alright, people were talking about this one. I want to see what this does. Sandaconda. 130 HP, 3 retreat, weak to grass. Discard the top 6 cards of your deck. This attack does 60 damage for each fighting energy discarded in this way. So, what is that? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 360. Okay, 360 if you hit all 6 energies. Yeah, so people in the chat are talking about Typhlosion, and I really do. I mean, that's the best thing to compare it to. One of my favorite meme decks from the XY era right here. Massive Eruption. 80 times, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. It does 80 damage times the number of energy cards you discarded. Also, the fact that it's fighting type is pretty solid. We've got things like Pikachu Zekrom in the format. We've got things like Eternatus V and VMAX in the format. Honestly, guys, like, Typhlosion was always a meme because it's a stage 2. It's hard to set up. This is a stage 1, and it attacks for 1 energy. So you could build a deck with, like, you know, 20-something, 30-something maybe energies in it. It's probably still a meme, but I kind of can see the potential. I don't know. I can see the potential for this. As far as one prizers go, this maybe has the best shot of anything that I've seen as far as a one prizer. It's, you know, the early turns, you're probably not going to be hitting for that much. It looks extremely playable as far as meme deck goes. I agree with that, QWERTY. Yeah, Energy Recycler is getting reprinted as well, so that's a big factor here, too. All right, we're almost done, I think. We've got Indeedy, which is a basic. Fetch, draw 2 cards, and then Hand Kinesis 10 times. This attack does 10 damage for each card in your hand. So, in order to knock out a VMAX, we only need 34 cards in our hand. Seems workable, right? Yeah, this is definitely going to be a card that's in theme decks. Yeah, that's a good point, Mega. Oh my gosh, this is 100% a theme deck card. I like that it's got a Sinesti on the artwork. I'm a fan of that. But yeah, this is not going to be great, of course. Kind of a cool card. I mean, it's a basic, it's techable, splashable, whatever, but I mean, I bet this will be pretty solid in theme deck format. I'm down to rock with this thing in the theme decks for sure. We got a Heatmore, Flare for 20, Licky Burner, 70 damage. Flip 2 coins for each heads. Discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So some energy denial. I mean, everyone loves Crushing Hammer in the format right now, right? I mean, it could be an interesting, like, little energy denial deck. I messed around with a Torkoal V deck for a long time. That was pretty fun. The fact that this is 3 energy as opposed to the Torkoal deck, which was 4 energy. This also could use twin energy, which is pretty relevant. I don't know. I think we got some potential here for Heatmore. With triple. A triple doesn't work, though, because it's a basic. 5 shots E-turn. Yeah, but E-turn's not doing much if it doesn't have any energy on it, you know? Twin plus Cocoa Prism. That's an option, too. But I think you would probably just do Welder Twin. That would be better, right? Welder plus Twin. And it's a basic, which is nice. Just attached to your Pokemon on the bench. Yeah, but then I go Crushing Hammer or Boss's Orders, you know? It is a coin flip, so I guess that is a relevant factor here, right? Probably not great. Probably not great. I think if you want to play something like this, you should just play Torkoal V. It's 1 more energy, and you guarantee discard 2 energy. All right, we've got a Durant. Oh, this is one that I'm sure some people here are excited to see return. Devour. Colorless, colorless. For each of your Durant in play, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. Who's excited for some mill to return, chat? It's literally Devour. It's the same card. So if anyone is unaware, uninitiated, there is an old Durant that did this same thing. It had the same attack, but it attacked for a metal energy as opposed to 2 colorless. For each of your Durant in play, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. This is actually the first ever Durant card. I didn't realize that, but this card was relatively played at times. It's been played still and expanded a little bit here and there, and it's been decent over the years. There was a time period where it was actually just like crazy good. But yeah, the fact that it is 2 colorless energy makes it much weaker. You do have twin energy, but you only get to play 4 twin energy. Welder is an option. People in the chat saying Welder. That is an option. But there's, I don't know. I think we would need something like maybe like, I don't know. I guess it could be okay. I think most of the time these type of decks lose when your opponent is smart and takes their time, you know, and doesn't rush to take prizes. Green's Engine. Yeah, you've got some options. We'll give a Durant a solid, it could be good rating. How about that? All right, so we've got a Vivillon, Vital Powder. Heal all damage from 2 of your benched Pokemon. I mean, probably no bueno, right? Stage 2, very niche attack. You know, the things you're gonna want to be healing are like your big VMAXs and stuff like that, which are gonna be hard to fit a stage 2 line. Yeah, I feel like this is no good. This one's just bad. Straight bulk. Maybe this will be in a theme deck. It could be good in a theme deck, I guess. 90 for 3 plus healing. Could be okay. But as far as actual competitive Pokemon, it's no good. Meowstic, okay. Ear move. Once per turn, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, that's pretty cool. Some little damage movement, and it can be used from the bench. And I guess you could use multiple Meowstics. It doesn't say 1 ear move per turn. So there could be some cool stuff with this, I guess. There could be some cool stuff. I'm kind of down. You could do stuff like Spiritomb, just move some damage counters. Like having this plus Spiritomb in play, it's a 3-card combo that gives you a plus power every single turn. Could fix some math for certain decks. I'm a fan of this card. I'm not sure that it's necessarily like great right away or anything, but it could be good. I could see this being good. All right. I think this is the last card we're going to look at tonight. Mawild, single strike, powerful grip, 20 damage, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. And then force through 100. This attack's damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Big fan of this artwork. This artwork is very cool. The Mawild is very bad. Nice theme deck Mawild. Yeah, probably. If there's a metal type theme deck, this card will almost definitely be in it. Yeah, this card is not great. Not great at all. And that's the end of all the cards that Twan translated. They said, already, I think I've translated all the interesting new cards from SR5 and SR5L, 5I, whatever this is. If there's any other card you'd like translated, let me know. Spoilers, it probably sucks. Which is pretty funny. That is it. That is it. That is it. Big highlights for me. Level Ball coming back. Huge, as you can see. Twan agrees. I gotta go check out my binder and find, or my boxes of cards and find how many level balls I've got. Because I got a bunch. I got a bunch. So level ball coming back, that's a big one for me. The Sandaconda, honestly, one of the better cards I think we looked at. I know it's probably just going to be a meme deck, but has some of the better potential. Yeah, I honestly think those two. I think Sandaconda has more potential than any of the Vs or VMAXs that we just looked at. Corbinite could be good at some point in the future, but it's just worse than Zacian. I wouldn't ever play this over just playing a straight Zacian deck, right? So, yeah, these cards were not great, for sure.